Hey friends, this is just a quick demo to show you how to salvage and reuse walnuts. Now, not the nut, but the electrical walnut. These things are so cool and handy, and I absolutely love them. But the only problem is they're one way. Basically, you shove the wire in there, and then it's a little bit trickier to get out. Of course, this is a 30 amp walnut, and I have a 15 amp and a 30 amp gauge wire in here. Now these I'm going to show you two ways to do this. If you cut them off like this to salvage them, it's really quite easy, especially if you're dealing with just the 15 amps. You just rock them back and forth like this really lightly, and eventually they just pop out. Of course, the little metal retainer bracket in there is a little bit fatigued. It's not going to break or anything, but it is a little bent out of shape, which means a wire could potentially slip out of there. You can do the same with the 30 amp wire if you're lucky, but I'm going to show you an alternative method for dealing with these. So there's basically just two little wedges on each side with a little slot in the clear plastic. You just need a fine tipped screwdriver to basically slip underneath the tab, and then what you want to do is bend it out and up so that you slide up over the wedge. And once you slide up over the wedge like that, then you can use it as leverage to actually pull against the wedge and push the inner part out a little bit. And you just have to do that on both sides. This is a really common contrivance in closures or one-way plastic. So this is a handy technique to just have. So once you get the inside out, you got your three pieces here. Here's the little metal retainer clip. If this is a lot heavier gauge, you could just bend this up a bit to slide the wire out. That makes it much easier to get out. And then this, of course, is the restorative process here, that you want to push these back down again. You can see they're sticking out. This side's relatively unused, so they're flush, and then on this side they're sticking out of it. So you just use another gauge screwdriver to basically push those tabs down flat, restoring them to their original level of rigidity. And then it's just a simple matter of putting the enclosure back together. They're all fully symmetrical, thankfully, so it doesn't really matter which side you go in, although it is kind of a pain in the ass to admittedly to get these in here. Sometimes it's a little bit easier if you use the included plastic part as a way to get it to go in evenly, although I've had mixed results. Yeah, so once that's in there again and lined up, then you can just put it flat on a tabletop and push it down, and that will push it back in. And if it's still sticking out a little, you can just kind of push down on the corners. And then the last step in fully restoring this is just to take like a pair of pliers, needle nose work best, and put them on each side of those little plastic tabs, and then just squeeze, and they pop back into place. Of course, they're more brittle now, but they use this really robust plastic, so essentially it's gonna be fine. Like, it's not gonna come apart or anything. Maybe if you did this 2 or 3 times to one of these. So yeah, anyway, just a nice way to save these. You can buy more expensive versions of these now that have a little clip and a cam lock that are fully reversible, so you don't even have to worry about having to do this if you just pay a little extra for those. Thanks for watching.